Hi crafty friends, welcome back to Katahdin Crafts, and today is a special day because I am participating in a variety show celebrating my friend Carrie Rhodes. This is a huge accomplishment for Carrie, so make sure you stop over on her channel because she has the full video with all the giveaway information, and there are a lot of giveaways for this. So what we did is we all got together and chose a card to case of Carrie's. So today I chose the Christmas Slimline shaker card with staggered rectangles and happy trees. This is a fantastic card, and I absolutely love Trinity stamps, so I thought that this would be a great fit. I do find all of Carrie's cards very inspirational, but I had to pick one. So today I'm using Trinity Stamps Happy Little Tree Farm, plus their staggered rectangle die, and for my own twist, I'm using Honeybee Stamps Gingerbread House add-on. I'm using the gingerbread men, the candy canes, and the candies from the die and the stamps. And then to start the card, I cut out several card panels in 8.5 by 3.5 pattern papers. And I wasn't quite sure which one I was going to go for, so I went ahead and cut all of those with the staggered rectangle die, as well as a card panel, again, at 8.5 by 3.5. And I'm just going to line that up because it doesn't cut around the edge. It cuts in the center of those dies. So I cut that out, and then I used repositional glue and added that die cut right back onto another panel the same size. And that way I have a little guide in order to add the rectangles back in. So as you can see, I cut out glittered cardstock. Again, I cut out several different rectangles for this card, and I only used a few, but I'm going to have lots for my stash later. So what I did is just use that as the guide and put those glittered rectangles back in. And now you can see that I used the repositional tape, so I'm going to lift that off fairly easily. And then I'm going to take some of the pattern papers that I already cut, and I'm going to add those back in. And Carrie always uses a cute little heart as she glues, so of course I'm channeling her today, so I had to use little hearts to put my rectangles back in. I actually found it really fun to do that because it's definitely her signature, and I look forward to actually seeing her the way she does it. She makes it seem so easy. I wasn't as good and smooth with my hearts as I thought I could be. Okay, and so now I'm doing again my own little twist, and I am making candy cane trees today. So I inked up a piece of cardstock with Distressed Barn Door, and then I spritzed it with water. And now I'm going to splatter because this is another one of Carrie's favorite things to do is splatter everything. And I'm using Hydrocolor watercolor paints in Arcana. I think that's how you say it, and I'm probably really killed that, but sorry. It's a really, really nice shimmery watercolors. I absolutely love these. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that, put it onto a piece of acetate, and use a paintbrush and just flick. And I'll get some nice shimmer and shine on this panel that I'm working on for my trees. And I'm being very generous with my splatter. Again, Carrie is the queen of splatter, which I absolutely love. So after I'm done splattering, I'm going to set that aside so it can dry, and I'm going to start working on my little gingerbread men. I brushed some craft cardstock with my anti-static tool, and then I used Ink on 3 Juicy embossing powder and inked those up. And then I'm using Hero Arts white embossing powder. I'm trying to make it kind of look like frosting on the gingerbread men. So I thought that that would be a cute way of doing it. And then they have coordinating dies that I use to cut those and then pop them out. And those are all set. And then I also went ahead and used some glitter cardstock and some brown cardstock for the tree trunks and the glitter for the candy canes. And then I did some silver stars and some gold stars. I did a bunch of die cuts with that set from the gingerbread house. And I'm going to go ahead and add a piece of acetate, just slightly smaller than the 8.5 by 3.5. And this creates a window for our shaker card. And then I doubled up some foam tape and I cut it in thirds. I just needed really thin strips and I fit that all along the borders, and I wanted different embellishments in each chamber like Carrie did. So I went ahead and added the foam strips in between. Then I added some anti-static powder in all of the chambers and on the back of the card. And then I filled it with buttons galore, the little Santa treats. And I also used seed beads from one of my favorite Etsy shops, my friend Neha, that's also part of our hop today. She has a little Etsy shop called Crescent Creation, and she has some great embellishments on there. I suggest everybody go check it out. I have boatloads of her embellishments and I love them all. Okay, now it's time to take off that foam tape backing and put on the top of the shaker card. So I just had to line that up and then we have a shaker card, and I'm pressing really firmly around the edges so all those little fun doodads do not get out, because they can try. And now it's time to go ahead and cut out our trees. So I'm just going to layer all those on there. And it took me a couple times to run them through. And then I also ran them through on plain white cardstock. And I used diamond stickles to give those some dimension and sparkle. Because again, I am making candy cane trees today. I thought it was fun. And now I also did cut out some candy canes from the honeybee stamps set. And I'm just adding a little bit of Copic marker in R27 on those stripes. And then I backed it with some glitter paper. And now I'm adding my tree trunks to the middle, the first panel, the middle panel, and the last panel. And then I'm going to do the gingerbread men in between. Just like I said, a different little twist, but definitely inspired by Carrie's card. Now it's time to add on our trees. And I just went every other color, red and white, and I just built up the trees in what I thought would be a nice fit. There's all different ways of making the trees in that set. There's tons of them. I'm actually impressed with how many different die cuts are in one set. And now I'm just using some glue dots to pop those all back on to the card panel. And I cut some stars out as well, and I'm putting 2 silver ones on the first and the last panel, and then a gold glitter one in the center. And they have this cute little sign that says Tree Farm, and I almost did add it there, but I didn't want to take away from that tree because I thought it was super cute. So I left it as is. And now I'm just building up the gingerbread with a few candies. And then Carrie had this really pretty scripted Merry Christmas. I did not have the same die, so I worked with what I had, and I had the Merry from scrapbook.com word die set, and then I had the Christmas from a Lawn Fawn set, and then the Happy New Year actually came from Tailored Expressions. So I just created my own little sentiment from what I already had on hand. And now I'm adding my finished card panel onto my card base, which is 8 3/4 by 7 1/2, and then I scored it at 3 3/4. And there we go. And did you see I also used the hearts again, Carrie? I love that little trademark of yours. And we have a shaker card, which again is also something that Carrie loves to do. So yay. I wanted to show you all the stuff that I cut out. So I have lots of stuff left to whip out some more cards. So thank you so much for stopping in on our hop today and celebrating a wonderful person. She really truly is. She builds up our community. She is ultra talented, and she has worked extremely hard for this milestone, and it is very well deserved. Great job, Carrie. I look forward to seeing everything that you do in the future, because I know that your future is definitely bright. And thank you so much for having me celebrate with you today. And here's another quick look at the card that I cased from Carrie, so you can have a little comparison of mine and hers. Again, thank you for stopping in with us today. Happy crafting, everybody. Take care.